What's up, guys? Paul from the Sysadmin channel, bringing you the best tips and tools for your sysadmin journey. In this video, we're going to cover how to generate SSL certificates for your Exchange 2019 server. Let's get started. So in the previous two videos, we went over configuring our database, or we went over actually installing Exchange 2019, configuring our database name, moving it to a different location, and setting up the virtual directories so we can use mail.thesysadminchannel.com when we connect to our Exchange server. So in this video, we're going to generate SSL certificates from Let's Encrypt and import them into our Exchange server. So you can see here when I type in mail.thesysadminchannel.com, we are seeing certificate errors, and that is because it is currently using a self-signed cert, which is technically not valid. So we want to go ahead and create new public SSL certificates, and we're going to be doing that using Let's Encrypt, specifically the POSH-ACME module. And the reason we're using the POSH-ACME module for PowerShell is because it allows us to automate the entire process when we need to generate SSL certificates. So we can schedule it. We can run this on a scheduled task every 3 months, and when it comes time to renew our certificate, we can fire this off. So to get started, we'll go ahead and open up a PowerShell window and run the command install module with the POSH-ACME name. Next up, we'll press enter here to install and import the NuGet provider. And then following that prompt, we'll go ahead and press enter here as well to say yes to all. All right, so once that's done, we'll go ahead and run get command dash module star acme star, and this will let us know all of the commands that are associated with the POSH-ACME module. All right, so let's go ahead and clear the screen here and move on over to our trusty PowerShell ISE window. Let's go ahead and bring that up now. And here you can see that I've already laid out the script into specific regions, so we can easily go through this in a phased approach. The first section here, I've laid out information gathering because that's exactly what we'll be doing. Since I'm using Cloudflare as my DNS provider, I went ahead and entered in my email address that I used to log in, as well as my API key. Those two parameters are going to go into our CF params variable, and we'll go ahead and pass that into our script. I've also set up a friendly name variable so we can easily pass, or we can easily see from a high level overview of when our certs are going to expire. So for those of you not familiar with Let's Encrypt, these are public SSL certs and they are 100% free. The only downside is that they expire every 90 days, so we have to figure out a way to automate the process to renew them. And that's exactly what we'll be doing here. So next up is our strong password variable, and that'll allow us to import our PFX file. I would definitely recommend making this password 25 or more random characters. That way someone cannot just easily import your PFX key. And right below that is going to be our domain list. One thing to note here is that the first domain you set in this list will be the name that shows up as the issue to or the subject name of the cert. The rest of the domains, if you have any, will show up as sans or subject alternative names. So in my case, I wanted star.thesysadminchannel.com to show up as my subject name, so I will set that as my first option. It's also important to mention here that Let's Encrypt does support wildcard and subdomain wildcard certs. What this means is that I can have the SSL cert cover everything under the sysadmin channel and everything under ad.thesysadminchannel.com. So let's go ahead and highlight this portion here from the beginning of the region information gathering to the end of the end region. And we'll go ahead and run that portion. I've actually ran the real values into memory already, so I'm not going to run this portion, but obviously you'll need to make sure that the script completes without errors. All right, next up, we'll expand and highlight the create Let's Encrypt region and open up the bottom pane so we can see the output from the command. I'll go ahead and run the selection here by clicking on the green arrow, or you can press the F8 key to run only the selected text. Once that finishes running, we can see here that the subject is the star.thesysadminchannel.com. The expiration date is going to be July 12th, and all three domains that I set here are under the all sans property. All right, so that looks good. So now that that region is all set, we'll go ahead and collapse it and move on to copying that newly created cert to our file server where we'll host it. This region of the script is going to create a directory with a year-month format so we know when it was created, and copy the .cert, the .key, and the .pfx files so we can distribute that to other servers. So with that text highlighted, a quick F8 should do the trick to execute that block. Next up, we'll import the PFX password and convert it to a secure string so we can import it to our computer list array. Right now, I only have my Exchange server on that list, but if you had more servers, you would just need to separate them by commas. So with that text highlighted, we'll go ahead and press F8 again to run that portion and move on to the next region. So at this point, we've already created the Let's Encrypt public SSL cert. We've copied it to our file server where we can distribute those certs to our servers. And we've just imported our PFX password as a secure string. So it's time to deploy those certs to our remote machines. To do that, we're going to iterate through our computer list to copy the files and invoke some PowerShell commands. Server 2012 and later has PS remoting enabled by default, so this shouldn't give us any errors unless you've specifically disabled it in your environment. So once we've imported the certificate to the remote machine, we'll also set the friendly name to the expiration date so we can easily see when it's going to expire just by looking at the MMC console. And since we don't want to leave any certificates laying around anywhere, we've also got a part in our script to delete the file as well. We definitely can't forget about that part. So I'll quickly run this bad boy for our Exchange server, and since we don't have any errors, we can safely move on. So with that out of the way, we're finally at the point in our script where we can set the new certificate on our Exchange server and remove any old certs since they're most likely going to be expiring in the next couple of days. The good thing is that we have backups of our certs on our file server, so should anything go wrong, we can easily revert to our backup files. I would always recommend you test beforehand, and you know what? Actually, let's go ahead and do that now. So before we run this, let's go ahead and go into the MMC console, and we can see before and after, and just verify that this works as expected. So back in our Exchange server, let's go ahead and open up the MMC console. We'll go to Add Remove Snap-in, select Certificates, add my computer account. All right, next, finish. Okay. All right, so we'll go ahead and expand certificates and then move on to the personal certificates. So with that now open, let's go ahead and expand this for a bit more screen real estate. And here are two certs that I wanted to point out. Both of them are issued to star.thesysadminchannel.com. However, one of them is issued by Let's Encrypt Authority, and the other one that I have highlighted here is issued by fake Let's Encrypt Intermediate. The fake one is the one we just created now in our stage or in the stage environment. So if we expand a little over here, we can see that the friendly name was set to our expected expiration date. So if you remember a little bit ago, I talked about seeing from a high level when our cert is going to expire. This is what I was talking about here. So the good news is that we were able to import our newly created cert remotely without having any issues, and we've confirmed that by checking in our personal certificate store. And with good news, there's almost always bad news that follows. Ready for the bad news? The bad news is that I've let the real Exchange cert expire. On the bright side though, this is only a lab, so no admins were harmed in the production of this video. Ooh, tough crowd. All right, jokes aside, let's go back into our script and run the selection where we delete all previous issued certs to the sysadmin channel that do not match the thumbprint from the cert that we created moments ago. So that's our cleanup region. So with that selection highlighted, I'm just going to go ahead and press F8 to remove that cert. So if we go back into our MMC console and refresh the page, we can see that the old expired cert that was issued by Let's Encrypt is now gone. So at this point, you're probably wondering, hey dude, you totally skipped a region. And you know what, you're right. I have yet to import the cert into our Exchange server, but before I did that, I wanted to open up our Exchange Admin Center and check to see what the process looks like if we were to do it manually. So let's go ahead and open up our Exchange Admin Center. I actually loaded this up prior to deleting the old cert so I can show you here. We can see here that I've highlighted the Let's Encrypt, the new one that we just created, the fake one. But if we go ahead and open that up, we can still verify that the same settings we saw in our MMC console are still there. So the cert still has 3 subject alternative names that we set, and we can see the expiration date. But if we go into services, we have the option to specify what services our certificate is enabled to do. So typically you'll want to assign the SMTP and Internet Information Services, or IIS for short. So let's go ahead and cancel this because we're going to be executing this option from our script. All right. So the last thing I wanted to show you was the removal of our expired certificate. Since it's no longer in our personal certificate store, it's no longer going to be showing up here. So let's go ahead and refresh this page to remove the certificate from our Exchange Admin Center. So all in all, we tested creating a new certificate, backing it up to our file server, importing it into our Exchange server, and enabling the required services that are needed to run Exchange. And finally, we ran the cleanup to remove any old unused certs from showing up. So if you're starting from scratch and wanted to generate a brand new cert for Exchange, you can pretty much run that script from top to bottom and it should do everything for you. But if you're updating your cert or if you're renewing your cert, the process is a little bit different. So back in our ISE window, I've opened up the update version of the script. It was built on top of the create version with some minor tweaks. I'm not going to go over the entire script again because a lot of it is redundant. But one thing I forgot to mention and forgot to point out earlier is the set PA server. And the difference between stage and prod. So stage is what we created moments ago, and since I didn't need to create a brand new cert that was going to be used live, we went ahead and used that stage environment. This time around though, I'm going to be setting the environment to prod because the cert that I'm going to use is going to be the live cert that we're going to be using the Exchange services for. All right, so now let's expand this region and run the submit renewal command. We're going to be using the properties of that command, so I'm going to store the results into a variable. Once that's done and we see the output, we can move on. All right, so we already went over backing up to our file server, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that. We'll just go ahead and run that. And then the import PFX password as well. We've already gone over that, so no need to spend time there. And the deploy remote machines, we've already gone over that too. So we'll just skip through this part really quick. Go ahead and run that. Make sure that everything is good on that side. So here's the part that we didn't run the last time. So we didn't install the certificate on our Exchange server. But this time around, let's go ahead and do that. So let's run this command. It should be importing the Exchange module. And since we have the enabled Exchange certificate services highlighted, it'll also enable that as well. So let's go back into our Exchange Admin Center and refresh the page. Here we can see that the cert is now the real Let's Encrypt cert. And really quick, if we open it up, we can see that we have the domains configured correctly. And if we open up services, we can also confirm that SMTP and IIS services are checked and enabled. All right, so one last thing to check is to open up a fresh page and actually check to see if that pesky invalid cert is no longer showing up. So I'm going to go into my Exchange Admin Center, and if I click on the lock icon, I can confirm that the certificate in use is our Let's Encrypt cert that we generated moments ago. We can see here that the issue to is star.thesysadminchannel.com, and it's provided by Let's Encrypt. All right, guys, that about wraps it up for this video. If you have any questions, go ahead and leave them in the comment section. Once again, this is Paul from the Sysadmin Channel, signing out.